Hi everyone, welcome back to Asian Chinese Wisdom Life. Today we will start with the first hexagram, Qian. We will explore both its philosophical meaning and how to interpret it if you receive this hexagram during an I Ching divination. For Qian, both the inner and outer trigrams are Qian. All 6 lines are yang, so this is pure yang. Its image is heaven, and its basic quality is strong and active. It is called the creative in Wilhelm's book, and I think this is a very important and good translation, because Qian represents the beginning, the driving force, the creative energy behind change. But in Chinese thought, Qian is not only creative, it also has the meaning of Jian, strength, vitality, movement, and inner power. It is kind of the energy that keeps moving and doesn't easily stop. As the image says, the movement of heaven is full of power. Therefore, the noble person strengthens himself and never ceases to strive. I personally found this sentence very powerful. The movement of heaven is continuous. Day and night follow each other, the 4 seasons keep turning, and the universe never really stops changing. So the noble person learns from this ceaseless movement of heaven. Now let's look at the hexagram statement, 卦辞, or the judgment. The statement for Qian is extremely short, only 4 Chinese characters. In Wilhelm's translation, it is the creative works sublime success, furthering through perseverance, which is not very straightforward. In Chinese, Yuan means origin, beginning, greatness, and the first source of life. It is like the first movement from which everything begins. Heng means smooth passage, communication, and flourishing. It suggests that the way is open, nothing blocks the movement, so success becomes possible. Li means beneficial, favorable, and appropriate. It is not only profit in a narrow sense, it means that something is suitable, harmonious, and good for the situation. Zhen means firmness, correctness, steadiness, and perseverance. It suggests that success is not achieved by random action, but by staying upright, centered, and persistent. So together, they give us the basic spirit of Qian. A great beginning, smooth development, beneficial action, and firm perseverance. Later commentators also connect these 4 stages with the 4 seasons. In spring, seeds begin to emerge. In summer, life grows and flourishes. In autumn, things matured and are harvested. And in the winter, energy is stored and returns inward. The Tuan commentary, Tuan Zhuan, explains this statement into a much larger vision of the universe. All things receive their beginning from Qian. It is the creative source that governs heaven. The clouds move, the rain falls, and all beings take shape and come into form. The great brightness of Qian reveals the beginning and the end. The 6 positions of the hexagram become complete according to the right timing. The way of Qian changes and transforms, allowing each being to receive its proper nature and destiny. So Qian is the creative order of heaven, and when this creative power is in harmony, the world becomes peaceful and all states are at rest. If you get the hexagram Qian during divination, it means that you should learn from the ceaseless movement of heaven. When the time is right, act with strength. When the path is difficult, don't give up easily. And when change begins, become the active force that helps it unfold. If asking about childbirth, traditionally Qian is interpreted as the birth of a boy. Now let's move to the 6 lines. The first line, hidden dragon, don't act. This is a very famous line, but before we interpret it, we need to understand one important thing. The Chinese dragon is very different from the dragon in many Western stories. In many Western traditions, the dragon is often dangerous, destructive, and even evil. It is something a hero must fight. But in Chinese culture, the dragon is usually a very positive and powerful symbol. It represents strength, vitality, transformation, and the movement of heaven. In Imperial China, the dragon was also closely connected with the empire. Dragon symbols appeared on imperial robes, palaces, and royal objects because the empire was seen as connected with the power of heaven. So here the dragon is the image of Qian itself, the ultimate creative, dynamic, and ceaseless power that drives change in the universe. A Chinese dragon can rise into the sky, move across land, and dive into the water. So it is also a symbol of flexible power. It is everywhere, and it knows how to move according to the situation. Now we go back to the first line. Hidden dragon, don't act. At this stage, the dragon is still hidden. Its power exists, but it hasn't yet appeared. Its energy is real, but the timing is not ready. Note that here don't act doesn't mean never act, it means not yet. The main thing is not to extend one's power prematurely in an attempt to obtain by force something for which the time is not yet ripe. I personally think this is a very practical lesson. Sometimes at the beginning of a situation, we already have ambition, we already feel the energy inside, and we want to do something big. But our strength may still be developing, our position may not be stable, or the outside environment may not yet support our action. So take your time, don't rush, don't show off too early, and don't force yourself into the center of the stage before the right moment arrives. If this is your changing line, you should remember to prepare before you act. This is the stage for learning, preparing, observing, and accumulating your strength. If asking about war, don't make a move yet, wait. If asking about business, don't act too quickly, even if the goods or opportunity look good, wait for the right timing. If asking about career status or achievement, it is not your time yet. Continue preparing yourself and wait for better opportunities. Now let's move to the second line. Dragon appearing in the field, it is favorable to see the great person. Here the dragon is no longer hidden. It has appeared in the field. The inner power of Qian has begun to show itself in the real world. You may not yet have a higher position, or not yet be the leader, but your ability and your potential are starting to become visible. In daily life, this could mean a moment when you begin to show your work, apply for an opportunity, or let others see what you can do. This is why the line says, it is favorable to see the great person. The great person traditionally means a wiser leader or the king, but can also be someone who can recognize your potential and help you move forward. However, once you begin to appear, you also begin to attract attention. Attention can bring opportunity, but it can also bring competition, pressure, or criticism. So this line doesn't mean show yourself everywhere without thinking. It means when the timing is right, step into the field, let the right people see you, or ask the right person for help, but still remain serious, reliable, and grounded. If this is your changing line, you should still prepare yourself, but more importantly, when the opportunity comes, you should begin to show your ability at the right time, in the right field, and let the right person see your potential. At the same time, stay humble. If asking about business, the field may point to products from the land, such as rice, wheat, cotton, or other agricultural goods. There may be opportunity here, especially if the goods are practical and connected with real demand. If asking about career status or achievement, this is a good time to begin showing your ability. If you appear at the right moment, you may receive help from a mentor, a leader, or someone who can recognize your potential. Now let's move to the third line. The noble person is creatively active all day long. Even at night, he remains careful and alert. Danger, but no blame. Now one's influence is growing, and more people begin to notice him. More responsibility comes, and more things need to be done. So during the day, he works hard, he keeps moving, improving, and responding to the situation. But even at night, when other people rest, his mind is still alert. He's thinking, planning, reflecting, and worrying about what may go wrong. This sounds tearing, but it also shows maturity, because the third line is a dangerous transition point. You are moving from a lower position toward a higher one. Your influence is expanding, but so are the risks. Ambition, praise, pressure, and temptation may all arrive at the same time. So this line reminds us, the more active you become, the more careful you must be. A noble person doesn't stop working, but also doesn't lose self-awareness. That's why the line says, there is danger but no blame. If this is your changing line, you should work hard but stay alert. When your influence begins to grow, responsibilities also grow. You now become busier, more visible, and more pressured. So keep moving, but don't become reckless. Don't let ambition, praise, or pressure destroy your integrity. No matter what you are consulting about, this line reminds us that the danger is present. But if you remain careful, humble, and awake, you can pass through this stage without falling into serious trouble. Now let's look at the fourth line. Wavering fly over the death, no blame. This line brings us to another important transition point. After the first three stages, the dragon has appeared, worked hard, gained experience, and built up inner strength. Now a new opportunity appears, but this opportunity is not completely safe. It's like standing near the edge of a deep valley. You may leap upward, or you may stay where you are. There is a chance to rise, but also a possibility of falling. At this stage, no one can simply tell you which choice is correct. You may choose to move upward, take a bigger role, or enter the world more actively. Or you may choose to step back, remain quiet, and continue developing yourself. Both choices can be right. The key is whether the choice truly fits your inner nature, your timing, and your situation. So this line is saying, look carefully, listen deeply, and choose honestly, so that there will be no blame. If this is your changing line, you should choose your path carefully. A real opportunity may appear, but it may also come with risk. If you feel that the time has truly arrived and you have already prepared yourself, then don't hesitate, take the leap. But if the timing isn't right, or your heart is not steady, then waiting is also not a failure. It may be the wiser choice. If asking about career, status, or achievements, there is a big opportunity waiting for you. As long as you act sincerely, stay true to yourself, and follow the real condition of the moment, your choice can be right for you. Now we move to the fifth line. Flying dragon in the heavens. It is favorable to see the great person. This is the highest and most powerful stage of Qian. The creative power has reached its full expression. The person has found the right time, the right position, and the right field of action. In human life, this may describe a moment when someone's talent and virtue become fully visible. He isn't merely successful for himself. His influence begins to benefit others. People can see his strength, trust his direction, and naturally gather around him. Here, the great person can be understood in two ways. It may mean that we should meet a wise and powerful person, but it may also mean that the great person himself has now appeared. That's you. The right person has reached the right position, and when this happens, his influence spreads naturally. Confucius explains this line very beautiful. Things with the same tone vibrate together. Things with the same inner nature seek each other. Water flows toward what is wet. Fire turns toward what is dry. Clouds follow the dragon. Wind follows the tiger. In simple words, similar energies attract each other. When a true sage appears, people naturally look toward him. They recognize something powerful, upright, and meaningful. So this line is not only about personal achievement, it's about influence, resonance, and leadership. If this is your changing line, then in general, the things you are planning are highly likely to succeed. This is a very favorable sign for action, achievement, and moving forward. Your power becomes visible, your influence can benefit others, and people naturally recognize your direction. But true leadership is not only personal success, it is using your strength to bring order, inspiration, and benefit to the world around you. The only thing that needs attention is when the question is about health. It may suggest that the god is calling. Now we reach the top line. Arrogant dragon, there will be regret. This is the final stage of Qian. The dragon has already flown to the highest position. There is no higher place to rise. The only possible movement is to turn back or fall down. This is one of the deep patterns in the I Ching. When folly reaches the limit, the opposite aspect begins. At this stage, power can easily become arrogant, confidence can become overconfidence, and success can make a person lose touch with others. It may feel glorious to stand up at the top, but it can also become lonely. If someone climbs too high and no longer listens to people, ignores the real situation, and no longer recognizes his own limits, then danger begins. And there will be regret. The problem here is that the dragon no longer knows when to stop. If this is your changing line, you should not go beyond the limit. So in general, the things you are planning may not succeed easily, especially if you are asking for too much, pushing too hard, or trying to go beyond the proper limit. It is time to learn when to stop and step back. There is a famous Chinese expression, when the work is done, brush off your sleeves and leave, hiding your achievement and your name. In other words, after success, don't cling to power, reputation, or control. Know when to leave the stage with dignity. When power reaches its extreme, danger begins, because from the top of the mountain, one careless step can become a long fall. Finally, Qian has one special statement called Yongjiu. Only hexagram Qian and Kun has this kind of extra statement. For Qian, when all 6 yang lines are changing yang, the whole hexagram changes into Kun, the receptive. So here, the pure strength of Qian begins to transform into the softness and receptivity of Kun. This is a very deep image. A group of dragons without head, good fortune. Each dragon has power, and this power is not arrogant. Each one moves according to its own place, its own timing, and its own proper role. So the best condition is not always one powerful leader controlling everything. Instead, sometimes the best leadership creates the right conditions, and then allow things to move naturally by themselves. So a group of dragons without a head isn't chaos. It means strength without arrogance, movement without domination, and harmony without forced control. Overall, Qian describes a process of development. It can be read as the movement of the sun, from sunrise to sunset. It can also be read as the course of a human life or the process of doing something important. Each stage becomes the preparation for the next stage. So the key point is to keep active within the corresponding position. At the beginning, when the dragon is still hidden, we should cultivate ourselves, learn quietly, and accumulate strength. When the dragon appears in the field, we can begin to show our ability and let the right people see our potential. When our influence starts to grow, we must work hard, but also remain careful and aware of danger. When a bigger opportunity appears, we need to judge the timing. Should we continue waiting, or should we take the leap and rise higher? When the dragon finally flies in the heaven, success and influence may arrive, but even then we still need humility, responsibility, and self-awareness. Because if we keep pushing upward, after reaching the limit, we enter the stage of the arrogant dragon. This is the principle of 物极必反. When something reaches extreme, it begins to turn into its opposite. And after decline, a new cycle may begin again. So Qian teaches us to act according to the right time. Be strong but not reckless. Be active but not forceful. Rise when the time comes and step back before the limit. Day after day, we keep doing what is right at the stage we are in. To me, this is the real spirit of Qian: creative power, continuous effort, and the wisdom of timing. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and continue exploring the I Ching with me. I will see you in the next episode.